Over 83,000 cooperatives, land trusts, and mutual aid networks already function globally. They represent a massive, largely invisible infrastructure for a different economy. These models provide a stark financial alternative to extractive norms. In a driver-owned co-op, workers keep 80% of their earnings. On platforms like Uber, however, that figure often drops down to just 50%. Society remains tethered to the broken extractive model, despite the fact that these fairer, functional systems have already been built and tested in the real world. This disconnect stems from over 300 movements operating in total isolation. They are trapped in silos, communicating through academic jargon that makes their solutions feel unreachable to the people who need them most. Because these movements cannot speak a shared language, they cannot aggregate their political influence or their capital. The failure to reach the mainstream is a breakdown in coordination. Extractive economics has maintained its cultural dominance for 70 years through a highly coordinated storytelling infrastructure. Figures like Edward Bernays pioneered public relations strategies that successfully engineered a sense of cultural inevitability around mass consumption and extraction. The alternative economy is trapped in a prisoner's dilemma. Brilliant builders choose to operate in isolation rather than risk cooperation, resulting in a net negative state. This isolated behavior keeps the movement fragmented, preventing it from reaching critical mass to challenge the dominant narrative. Shifting into a coordination game requires a software update, one that syncs these isolated successes into a single, visible system. Connectioning serves as that coordination protocol, designed to bridge these siloed factions through a shared framework. The first prong is the translation layer. It converts dense movement jargon into accessible human narratives that resonate with people who have never heard the word cooperative. This translation achieved a definitive result in February 2026, when the Scottish Parliament passed the world's first Community Wealth Building Bill with a 103-0 vote. A single viral video acted as a mirror, showing politicians an undeniable level of public demand that effectively broke the political bubble. While translation creates massive visibility, that attention is only the first step toward changing long-term human behavior. Viral awareness is a simple contagion. It captures attention for a moment, but then it quickly dissipates before producing a material impact. Behavior change requires complex contagion, social reinforcement from trusted sources. This is network weaving. The In-C model coordinates multiple creators, synchronizing themes in distinct voices. This rhythmic coordination creates a frequency illusion, making the well-being economy an unavoidable cultural conversation. This specific weaving protocol moves audiences out of passive consumption and toward active, strong-tied trust in the movement. The third prong, conversion, demands that this digital trust is channeled into material action. The protocol routes newly engaged audiences directly into physical economic infrastructure, like local credit unions, cooperatives, and land trusts. This creates a self-reinforcing loop. Weavers onboard the creators, the builders provide actionable projects, and the creators route their audiences back to those builders. This localized routing operates organically across the globe, scaling without the need for a central conductor. This ecosystem loop turns passive viewers into active participants in a tangible, working economy. Network science provides a specific mathematical threshold for this kind of cultural change. Damon Centola's research shows that when a committed minority reaches 25% of a population, a self-sustaining cascade triggers, and the majority rapidly follows. Just below this threshold, change appears to be failing. Movements burn out here, unaware of how close they are to a breakthrough. The connectioning protocol is engineered to provide the rhythmic push needed to move local communities over that invisible line. A highly coordinated 25% is sufficient to rewrite the cultural operating system of an entire community. Accelerating this shift requires viewers to plug into the protocol through 3 strategic entry points. Weavers can log in by learning how to facilitate storytelling cycles and apply coordinated rhythms to their own local contexts. Project builders can utilize the system to access incubation and route a new mainstream audience into their existing work. Media creators use the shared weekly themes and proof-based content to point their audiences away from doom scrolling and toward concrete participation. The components of a fair economy are already here. Upgrading our coordination protocol lets these working models cross the threshold into the mainstream.